Background: a friend of mine, who I've talked about before, owns a horse and cattle ranch. She never gives riding lessons as most of the horses are rescues, and there are a lot of weirdos out there, so she doesn't want them coming to her property. On to the story. Friend's security system went off, saying someone had showed up at my friend's ranch and tried to get in. When friend got to the gate, there was our star, Karen, haircut, overweight, designer clothes. She stared down her nose at friend and said she had spoken to someone that this was the place for her daughter to take horseback riding lessons. When friend asked her who told her that, she said the owner of this place, obviously. Now, open this gate so I can take my daughter to her lesson. Friend looked her dead in the eye through the gate and said, I'm the owner. I've never spoken to you before, and I don't give lessons. You're confused. Now please leave. The woman laughed and said friend was just a crazy old lady who didn't know anything and should go take her mental meds and take a nap after opening the gate for them. Friend stared at her, drill sergeant style, and said firmly, I'm old, not senile, and this is my property. Leave before the police come. She then turned and walks away. The woman screamed at her all kinds of obscenities and threatened to sue the crazy old bat. Friend just kept walking. When she reached the house, she called the police. While she was on the phone with them, one of her foster kids, let's call him Disney, asked if she knew who the weird teen was running across the front of the house. Friend looked outside and saw a teenage girl running from the dogs and up a tree. She was well-dressed, like designer everything well-dressed. The dogs barking like crazy. Side note, they don't bite but will bark to scare away intruders. Police arrive and arrested the mother and daughter for trespassing. The mother screamed the same entitled Karen crazy-ish she had at the gate, but had now changed her story to the owner of the property had promised her daughter a horse and lessons. No one listened, and they were hauled off. Cut to a week later, and my friend received a notice in the mail that the mother was suing her and demanding all her dangerous and disgusting animals be taken away and put down. At the courthouse, friend showed the judge the security footage from the house, gate, and stable, with audio in 4K of these idiots screaming and cursing, and trying to squeeze through the gate before smashing the gate control call box on the outside and then trying to steal one of friend's horses and put the animal into their small minivan. The horse in question they trying to take was a draft horse, Sher Colesdale mix. There ain't no way in hell that he was fitting in that car. Judge looked at the mother and asked, are you psychotic? You pay their, i.e. friend, lawyer and fees, as well as jail time for property damage, which you will pay for, and animal endangerment charges. EM could only stammer, but the dogs attacked my daughter. Judge turned to friend and asked if her dogs had ever bitten anyone, ever. No, sir. They bark, and that's about it. They will go after a bear or mountain lion, but not a human. Judge shrugged. In total, I think EM had to pay a little over $60,000, plus late fees and fines cause she didn't pay the first time and got hauled back to court and pay up. Some people, man, I swear. I'm staying at a hotel right now. Yesterday afternoon, I went downstairs to the lobby to people, watch and knit because the light's much better down there. Lots of people in the lobby. It turns out there was a wedding party getting ready for whatever wedding parties do. An older woman comes over and starts talking about knitting with me. We chat a while. Then she calls over her daughter, who happened to be the bride, to show her my shawl. The bride comes, is friendly, and then asks, are you sure you'll be finishing it in time? I'm leaving tomorrow. I was a bit confused because I didn't know the bride and I'm not knitting that shawl for anyone but me. Granted, it's white and lacy and certainly has a bridal look, but still, I laugh it off and say something like, I don't know you, the shawl is for myself. She went off at me. This is my wedding. You can't dangle that in front of me and not give it to me. Who do you think you are? I'm never inviting you again. Her poor mother was trying to calm her down and explain that I'm not a guest and have nothing to do with the wedding. I was just standing there totally stumped. The bride finally walked away with I don't want your shit anyway, and went back to her group. From the looks I kept getting, she obviously told everyone that I was withholding wedding presents from the bride. The mother apologized. And that was enough for me. But seriously, how can people be this delusional? So this is the next morning. It's me, older gentleman, and Douch Canoe. One truck, all pallets, so I get to interact with Douch Canoe. Great, well, I see him limping up. Wonder what happened. Maybe the girl from the day before got him better than I thought, though he's still walking, so I guess not good enough. He mentions not wanting to talk, and my only thought is too bad because I'm talking to you anyway. We are working, and I asked what happened. I was there, so I know, but I'm curious what web of lies he will say to me. DC, I hurt my knee. Me. Yeah, I see that. But what happened? DC, I don't want to talk about it. Knee. Come on, I won't tell anyone. Who am I kidding? DC. Man, I worked at Famous Dave's. Me. Really? DC. Some shit happened and I ended up getting my knee hurt. Knee. How'd that happen? DC. Some family got pissed and the kid kicked me. Me. Man, the kid did that to you? DC. Well, a lot happened and that's all I will say. Me. So you didn't do anything and they just targeted you? DC. Well, I didn't say it like that. Me. I was there, man. You pretend to be all high and mighty. A young kid saw it's fake and kicked you into reality. DC? What? Me. A blind, locked in a basement, handcuffed to a pole Stevie Wonder can see you. You know you deserved a good smack. DC. How do you know what happened? Me. I was there. You're crazy or delusional. Maybe both. DC curses and mumbles stuff. Me. What's next? Rob a bank and call 911 on them for stopping you. DC. Man, if you. Me. You can say what you want. How you are still here baffles me every day. After that, he said nothing. I said nothing. So Mondays, we never got a truck, and we agreed to meet up for bowling. Me, the same guys from the Fantasy Football League that work with us. DNT, I'm abbreviated their names to the first letter of their names. And a few others. No, Douche Canoe didn't get an invite, but he showed up. Oh, what could he possibly do to add to the growing list of disasters? So we are all bowling and having a good time. Everything is fine until I see Douche Canoe at the bar, beer in one hand, shame in the other, with failure all over his face. He's back to normal already. As time goes by, I noticed he's not at the bar anymore. He's on a lane near us. Call the paramedics now. He grabs a ball and okay, he hit the pins. Congratulations. But the ball landed on the lane next to him. The staff at the bowling alley are watching him because he's drunk. No surprise. And apparently he told the woman at the counter he knows us. Thanks, DC. I don't want others to know that. What happened next is the most bizarre thing I have ever seen. He picks up a ball. He goes to the foul line as fast as he can. Lets go of the ball. It goes into the ceiling and never came down. We all sat there, confused, wondering if that just happened. He demands a refund and refuses to pay. His entitlement to do what he wants when he wants holds no limits. DC goes on rant that he wants to be compensated for that and wants his money back. Manager that's there at the time reminds him that he hasn't paid for anything. His beers from the bar, his food, and now bowling into the ceiling. M is manager, J is for jerk-off. I give you all one guess. M, what did you do? J, I want a refund. M, you owe us for the beer and look what you did. J, I want my money back. M, you never paid us. J, so give my money back. M, you need to pay for the beer and now we have to fix the ceiling. J, good, didn't like this place anyway. Those guys over there know me. They can cover what I owe. M, I'm not making innocent bystanders pay for what you did. Pay up and never come back. J, fine, I'm leaving. F, this. So, Douche Canoe leaves, actually. We all get done and go on about the day. Unfortunately, I see Douche Canoe again. I returned to the bowling alley to shoot pool with a friend. We finish and talk outside. I see DC. Guess a worker saw him too, outside, standing around. Well, I go inside to show what Douche Canoe did that blows my mind still. We returned outside to see Douche Canoe getting yelled at to leave by employees. A few employees go back inside, It's now the same manager and another employee with DC. Now, I'm sure people are wondering why hasn't anyone called police? Well, a nice unit was coming and looking ready for a rumble. DC was standing on their territory. Manager and employee start backing away and my eyes go wider. I'm hoping they come. And then, wham! DC didn't realize a family of Canadian geese were slowly coming to their resting spot or home, maybe. Without noticing them, 3 of them fly up and start pecking at him. DC is running all over the parking lot, trying to get them away, and well, I guess they learned fast he's a complete dunce. The geese took our matters into their hands and eventually all of them are after DC. Had to be at least 8 or 9 of them. They literally got him off the property. About 15 minutes later, we see the geese. Guess who pops up again? It's like the geese had him on radar because they turned around and DC left the property. The geese stayed at the entrance where people turned in, probably thought the idiot would return. I asked the manager what he would do. Manager informed me about letting police know that DC never paid and left it at that. But he smiled. I can only imagine what will happen. I also asked about the flying bowling ball. Guess what? Nobody ever found it. So our grandma died recently, and my sister was never close with her. She moved out of the country when she was 14, didn't come back until she was 19, and even then out of state college, basically barely saw her for about 10 years. I used to be an addict and didn't have my heck together, so my dad found me an apartment so I would get out of his house, helped me buy a car. I'm broke. My sister at the time is making $160K plus bonuses, so like $190 to $210K on a good year. She demanded that my dad spend the same amount of money on her that he did on me, regardless of the fact that she has the actual money to afford it. I know I've been spoiled, and I recognize it. My issue is my sister doesn't. She doesn't see anything wrong with how she acts. It's been 6 years since she moved out and has her own home, yet she never moved out of my dad's master bedroom. So out of this 4,800 square feet, 5-bedroom house, she has to take the master bedroom despite my dad asking her for years to move out. My dad is too nice for his own good a lot of times. Addiction forced me to be brutally honest with myself and really look at the world around me. See how I've done wrong. Been clean for over 2 years now. Out of the last 5 years, only spent 4 months using. So my grandma died and my sister never came to see her, never really gave a damn about her. I tried talking her into letting me and my younger brother split the $33K she has left in her account between us two instead of 3, and she got really upset at me. She's got over $500,000 in savings. I have $470. My brother is 19, so I figured realistically we too would need it more than her. Come to find out, not only does she not like that, but she's been actively for years trying to talk my dad out of his will. It used to be split evenly between the 3 of us siblings, and now it's 50% to her, 25% to me and my other brother. So I feel like she's being really entitled. Maybe I am too. I'm just shocked to find out she's already getting $2 million from my dad and doesn't think I deserve anything from him. And she wonders why she hasn't gotten a promotion. She does stuff like going over her boss's boss when he says no on a promotion. I heard my dad ripping her apart saying, "You never do that. I've told you that before. If your boss says no, try again next year. Don't go over his head and embarrass him because now he has to explain what's going on with his team." It's to the point where we all have told her we no longer want to go to any vacations with her. I just feel shocked and betrayed. We went through hell as kids with my mom. I thought our bond was stronger than that, but I guess money really does change people.